Hey everyone, welcome to the Bible Belt Bros podcast.
I feel like you've done that intro before.
I know. I don't know what else to do, man. I'm not a professional podcaster. I'm almost a photographer.
I mean, I feel like after 10 years-ish, you should be.
Yeah, but then we took a couple years off, and so I don't even.
8 years, you should be.
Well, it's like I'm starting over again on how to do things. Andrew, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, okay.
I went over to your house.
Oh, yeah.
I showed you and your wife how to use an espresso machine.
Yes.
I showed her exactly how to make your favorite drink.
Yes.
And then you show up here today, no drink in hand.
Yes.
And I'm making it. What up?
Well, it's a bone to pick with my wife, not me, for one.
Okay.
She didn't make it for me. You showed her how to make it.
And we're canceled.
Well, you are no longer my wife's favorite.
Wait, your thing is I showed Lisa how to make it, and I didn't show you how to make it.
That is my argument.
Okay.
She was the one standing right there. I was kind of in the back lingering.
Oh, my goodness.
So, but the espresso machine is getting a lot of use. My daughter has learned how to use it, and she is making herself lattes. And listen, I now know what a latte is, which it's simply espresso with milk on it.
With milk. Yeah, you got to get a little bit more thickness. That's really why I like the milk. It's not necessarily the taste, it's the thickness of the liquid that it becomes when you add the frothed milk.
So just add more beans and less water, it'd be thicker.
No, because it just tastes like water. It's like protein shakes.
More beans, less water would taste more like coffee, not water, because there's less water.
No, the texture, not the taste. The texture.
Okay.
The texture is why I prefer to have a little girly milk in it. Okay. Less manly. I get it. Less man.
As I sit over here, drink my black espresso.
And I'm gonna drink my butter toffee latte.
Why you got going that voice, Dusty? Really? Is that what you think people that drink that sound like?
That's how I think you perceive me as I'm drinking this in front of you. Like, wow, look at all that, froth milk and
that is not why I perceive you that way, Dusty. It is not your drink.
There's other reasons? Okay.
Have you ever watched our YouTube channel and Dusty does manly things? That's why I perceive you that way.
All right, today, Andrew, we're going to be topical. Well, by the time this comes out, it might not be as topical. It's probably already fading away. One thing I've noticed for a while now is the TikTok culture. Like, things are popular for a very brief moment of time.
Very brief.
Like, the world's ending, World War III is going to happen. Everybody's freaking out about getting drafted, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you hear nothing about it.
As soon as a new dance comes out, they forget about everything.
Because everything is clickbait. Like, even our major news outlets, they're all of what can get us the most clicks and get engagements, because that's ad money and ad revenue. It's just more of, like, the urgency and all of that, and things just move over all the time. Like, you hear that all the time. A lot of conspiracy theorists will say stuff like that, like, oh, you don't hear about the Epstein files anymore because of this other thing that just happened. Well, it's just like that's our culture.
Well, there was just one yesterday, so I guess I'm going to timestamp our podcast. Obama's being investigated by the FBI. Well, supposedly charges or something were supposed to drop yesterday, and then there was the military base shooting. And so literally the first thing I wake up, or not I wake up, but the first time I got on my phone yesterday, it was an article about what are they trying to hide with this mass shooting.
Right.
Next, I see something about Obama charges or indictments or something. I don't know. Something about Obama, and the investigation was supposed to come out yesterday. And I never saw anything about Obama yesterday. So anyways, yeah, you're right.
Well, that's just, and so people will be like, that's a cover up, where that shooting is a fake shooting to cover up that. I don't think is truly what's going on. I just think our culture is so short term.
Yes.
Like, quick thoughts, get them out there, get as many clicks as possible, move on to the next thing. Like, part of what I hate about social media right now is I'm in my feed, for whatever reason, I get like local news from other places. Car crash, 2 people killed in Billings, Montana. And I'm like, why would I like you made it look like and sound like it was something that just happened in my town. You know what I mean? Like
yes,
that I would care about. But now you're building up this hysteria. Like if there was like a, domestic dispute, murder or something like that happens. And then it's like, oh, well, this is like, 800 miles away.
Right.
But now it's like, now it hits me like it's real to me. And like, I should be more fearful now of going outside because of all this. Like, it's just crazy just how quick turnaround and short the thought process is on a lot of those stories and how that works out. And so that's going to lead me to our topic today, Forrest Frank.
All right. That awkward segue, but okay.
No.
We're now here.
It connects.
Let's see.
Here's Forrest Frank, Christian artist, taking over the youth by storm.
Not just the youth, but also the billboards, because he has a catchy song on TikTok.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
Just kind of how. Well, not. It's whatever. TikTok, that is kind of what he did a feature with Connor Price. I was down, but now I'm up. And then all of a sudden, Forrest Frank was who is this guy? And now it's like everybody knows.
It's funny you say Forrest Frank and Connor Price, and I don't know who either one are really.
Connor Price, I follow him on TikTok. He's one of those guys that kind of like started self-publishing, and
so kind of like Eli Mack, who I had no idea who was, and supposedly he's this big YouTuber.
Oh yeah, the Tulsa football player, Tulsa Indoor League football player. Yeah, he's like got millions of followers. Like
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
And you're sending me stuff about him, and I'm like, who is this guy?
This dude's play. Well, he doesn't play, but he's on the team at least. Yeah. More than I can say. But yeah, so it's something like that. But anyway, so they did a feature together. Then he blows up, and so he's taking advantage of it. That guy is on the road all the time. He's everywhere. And then but you kind of look at like today's culture, and the reason it makes me think of like the way TikTok culture is with their news and how it's like short spurts of time, and then we move on to the next thing.
Right.
That's his music. Like if you listen to his songs, he has not very many songs that go over 3 minutes. Like most of his songs are like, I'm going to pull some up here.
Have you ever tried to do a dance for 3 minutes?
Yeah.
That's probably why he doesn't have songs over 3 minutes.
Well, I think that's kind of what our culture's kind of move into is, stop boring us, don't bore us, get to the chorus. That's kind of the new saying, I guess I've heard.
All right, that is a musician saying, because I've never heard it.
Don't bore us, get to the chorus. Hold on, where's Forrest Frank here? Okay, Forrest Frank. Nope, that's Forrest Frank and Connor Price. I just need Forrest by himself, please. Oh, that's just in my library. That's why. Okay.
Sorry, Dusty is old and doesn't know how to use technology.
No, I know how to use technology. What are you talking about? Okay.
You would think he does, because he has a job in marketing.
So I'm just going to go to top songs, right? So he has Your Way's Better. It's 3 minutes and 16 seconds total. He has a weird piano intro. That's 1 minute. That sounds nothing like the song, right?
Yeah,
it's like, no, I need you now. Like it's two different songs. And so that actually starts about 1 minute into the song. And then it's chorus, and then a verse, and then it's chorus, for the next 3 minutes. That's a long dance, all right? The new Lemonade, which I know he didn't technically write, some other guys wrote it. That's 3 minutes as well. But it's a lot of repeating choruses, basically. What is it? You got Good Day. That's 2 minutes 50. God's Got My Back. 2 minutes 30. And so like these, and they're just like
first. So they're set for short attention spans, which is America today. We have short attention spans.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like he's blowing up, but it really is like blowing up with kind of how the culture has shifted, where music used to be like a storytelling thing,
right? They used to be 8 to 10 minutes long.
Well, like some of the like Crazy Train and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
But also, you got to think he's in pop. When you get to country, it is still storytelling. It's the pop music that is short and catchy, and it's meant to grab your attention really quick. But again, you get to rock again, you're gonna be storytelling. You get to country, you're storytelling. It's just the genre he's in.
So you're saying rock is still got its roots together? I don't actually know.
If there is still rock, and I'm putting quotes around that, and you guys can't see, but because rock today is not what rock was in the 90s or 80s or 70s. Heavily shifted.
We sound like true millennials.
We do. That's my take on it. It's his genre that he's in. He knows his audience, and He knows he only has 30 seconds. Well, he has, 4 or 5 seconds to catch his audience's attention.
Right.
To keep it. And he's only going to keep it for a max of 3 minutes. So really, he's marketing is all that is.
That is true. And the songs are written more for TikTok audience. So for instance, the dances, where he's got the new, like, something making lemonade. What? Again
with your voices. Is this what you feel like he sounds like?
No. No, this is just, me not even trying to compete with him. But what I'm saying is, like, it's a very repeatable chorus.
Right.
Like
it's
Your
catchy,
Your Way's Better. It repeats that chorus like 6 to 8 times at the end. So you can continue that dance as long or as short as you want it. But it's that 30-second repeatable on TikTok, like you're saying.
Yep.
He's got the 30 seconds. They've got the views. Like, it's perfect timing. Those kind of things.
He makes his millions.
Yeah.
And he's good.
I was, said I was going to make fun of Forrest Frank, but it's more like that's how our culture is. Everything is short-term attention spans.
Yes.
Get to the point and just make it catchy. And so it makes me think maybe I can be an artist now. Well, because here's the deal. When growing up and I used to try to write songs, I would write a verse and a chorus, and then I'd get, maybe I can get...
Like your Dr. Pepper song?
Right, exactly. And then, then I'd get to a bridge maybe, and that's where, like, okay, whatever. But it was like those verse 2s and like how to make it like longer than 2 minutes, I don't even need those anymore. I really just need a chorus and just repeat that chorus over
You
and over
should
again.
record your Dr. Pepper song, or if you have the recording, because I know you do, go ahead and put it on our podcast. Let's see how many listens it gets.
Well, the skill I don't have is I don't have the skill to make like beats and loops and stuff. So I need to get with somebody. We should make a Dr. Pepper. We should make an official Dr. Pepper
just
song.
Do your acoustic version.
Well,
you
release
don't need
it.
Beats or loops.
No, that's what the cool kids. We need a Dr. Pepper dance.
Okay.
Where everybody's having a Dr. Pepper and they're chugging it, like.
Don't do that, man.
Okay.
We need a YouTube.
It's a work
for
in
this.
progress. Okay. Don't bring the can to your mouth. That's not going to be a good dance.
It wasn't even that. You looked like the Michelin Man doing that.
Let's continuing on Forrest Frank topic. He went through like a major skateboard accident, as of late, and had broke his back, which, then you see his writing process of writing a song, and he wrote the song, God's Got My Back.
Right.
God's got my back. God's got my back. I don't know. I can't remember how the song goes, but I'm trying to make you laugh. Anyway, so he's wrote a song, God's Got My Back, and then it got Making Lemonade, all that kind of stuff coming out. But it was like more of a miracle story that ends up coming from it because and I feel like he's in this mode where he has to also prove it now because he like told the story like, hey, I broke my back, showed how like his wife was helping him like
get in bed,
get in bed and like stretch out, that kind of stuff, and how much it hurt, in the recovery process. And then one day just woke up, forgot to put on his brace, just kind of went out his normal day and was like, oh wait,
picked up his kid. Yeah.
I don't have any pain, and just was like, man, God's healed me kind of situation. Then it felt like he was having to defend himself because then he had other videos where he went and got the actual x-ray so you could see the back was broken. He's like, I'm not a doctor, I don't know the severity of it, but it looks like a clean break, all that kind of stuff. And just like I think I've already seen some videos of him performing again, the Lemonade stuff. So yeah, have you seen that?
So I did not. I knew nothing about this until you sent me a text last night. So I didn't know about our topic until yesterday. I called Dusty. I was like, "Hey, what are we talking about tomorrow?"
You're just pulling the curtain behind.
He did some research. Sent me that. I was like, okay. Honestly, I knew who Forrest Frank was just from TikTok, but I didn't know really who Forrest Frank was. I just know his songs are very catchy, and so when I hear it, I know it. And so when I got up this morning, I decided I should probably do a little bit of research for this topic. And then I found out, or I saw the video of him skateboarding, hitting his back on the corner of his sidewalk really, really hard. Mm-hmm. I saw the x-ray radiology report. I saw the video of him trying to get in bed and he's bawling because he's in so much pain. And then I saw Really, I saw everything all at once, because then I saw him recovered and telling a story about how he got out of bed, picked up his kid, was just going about his morning, and then realized he didn't have his back brace on. And he's like, I don't have any pain. I can twist, I can turn, I can move, I can lift my arms, all this stuff with no pain. And then he went and got another x-ray, and the x-ray report came back clean that his back wasn't broken, but he was still wearing his brace just out of caution, which is very smart. So that's what all I know about it is that little...
So everything
synopsis.
I just said.
Yeah, that little synopsis is literally all I know about it. However, me with my background, I then had to think about it. Does this classify as a miracle to me? Mm-hmm. And yes, I will classify it as a miracle. But science-wise, I can justify it not being a miracle. Because although 2 weeks, and this is exactly 14 days from the day he broke his back, went to the hospital, he had a neck brace on, the ambulance came. Yeah. Right. Exactly 14 days later is when he got out of bed, lifted his kid, no brace or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks. That is an extremely, incredibly quick recovery. It's hard for science to explain that, but it can be explained because you see athletes who go through these horrific injuries and they're back on the field in 3-4 weeks. Mm-hmm. But he's not an athlete. Athletes are literally they're built different. Their biology is different. They can heal faster. Their tendons are stronger and allow them to jump faster, run faster, or jump higher, run faster. Forrest Frank is not an athlete.
Sorry, Forrest.
Yeah, sorry, Forrest. So it's really hard to explain that. Can it happen? Absolutely. I'd say and this is just me, not science right here, but I'd say it's a 1 in a billion chance that this is going to happen because you're right. He did go get another x-ray. His x-ray was clear. My curiosity would actually ask for an MRI, not an x-ray, because x-rays do heal faster or show healing quicker, where an MRI, which is in the bone and tissues, that's going to give them more in depth. So I am curious to see an MRI. I'm not asking, or I don't want him to go get an MRI because those are expensive.
Just as to see if it's fully healed yet,
right?
Type of thing, like the bones reconnected or whatever. Like you got that part of it, so maybe that pain's gone. But
and okay, so also X-rays, it is incredibly rare for an X-ray to not show after 2 weeks because there should be some calcium that shows up when your bones break. A calcium deposit. That's how your bone heals. So those should have shown up in the X-ray. But they didn't. It was his second X-ray was completely clear, which why I am classifying it as a miracle. But again, science will argue it and would argue it that it's not a miracle.
That it's still possible, so it's not a full miracle.
Right.
Just like how that person could have walked again. We don't know that.
Right. Lazarus could have been in a deep sleep.
Right.
And woken up 4 days later.
You can try to reasonably explain some miracles, but in seeing that, and I think that's amazing,
Absolutely.
Either way, miracle, if God put his hand on him and healed him, or even if it's a situation where, just recovery faster, those kind of things, that God helped him do the right thing, be surrounded by the right people. And part of it is just like when people are rehabilitating, stuff like that. Like obviously you just have to let the thing heal. Right. And then you also have to like do stretches and things like that. That looked like he was doing the work,
Yes. And maybe he was taking BPC 157 also. We don't know.
I don't know if that says it's supposed to heal bones, but I think that's tendons.
So, okay. Maybe he was doing Wolverine with the TB 500.
Yeah. It made me think, because what I've seen on TikTok is some responses, not a lot, but like, when you see a miracle happen, there's jealousy from other Christians that ends up coming of, why did God provide a miracle for this person and we
and not for this
are
other
still
person.
waiting for? I've been waiting it for years,
right?
And he gets it in 2 weeks,
right?
Type of situation.
Well, look at how many times to bring a guy up in our church, Chance. How many times our church has prayed for over Chance and laid hands on him, and how many mission trips he's been on and things he's done, and he's still in his wheelchair.
Right.
And so, I mean, it's
and embracing it. Let's just say, like, he showed up. We had our church does it funly, and so we had like an awards night, just kind of like saying thank you to volunteers, and it was like a New York City theme night, and Chance was being pushed around in a shopping cart as a homeless guy.
Yes. There was this group of people, and they all dressed up as homeless people, and one of them was pushing Chance around in a wheelchair or in a shopping cart.
Yeah, and just so like the thing with Chance is he embraces it.
He does.
Still praying for a miracle, but he
has a great attitude.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't just sit there and sour.
Yes.
Whatever. Like he's not mad at God. Like, yeah, sure, he may be asking questions, but he's not going to let that hold him back from still living his life and embracing all of it. So anyways, shout out to Chance. It kind of made me think of why do miracles happen? Is it because of faith? Is it luck? Is it circumstance? Like, what is miracles? So I kind of did a little bit of research, Andrew.
What?
Yeah. And so,
guys, this is once in a lifetime thing here.
I said a little bit of research.
But the fact that you said research, I didn't even know you knew what that word meant.
Okay, I looked up a few things. One, Andrew, is the different types of miracles we see in the Bible. Some of us just finished reading Matthew.
Right. Yeah.
Some of us did that. And there's a lot of stories of Jesus healing people. One of the reasons people think that maybe they don't get to receive a miracle is because they don't have enough faith. Because there's times where Jesus said that because of this woman's faith in Mark. So this isn't even Matthew. Sorry.
Oh my goodness!
In Mark, there's a woman that had an issue with her blood, and she believed that just touching his cloak was going to heal her.
Right.
And Jesus said, "Because of your faith, you are healed." There was a blind Bartimaeus, called out persistently to Jesus despite others telling him to shush, and Jesus said, "Your faith has healed you." So there's plenty of instances where
of faith healing,
where Jesus says, "Because of your faith, you are healed." And then there's sovereign choice. So there's a story where the man was born blind in the Bible. This is back in John chapter 9. And
it was not because of his parents' sin.
Right. And he wasn't asking for a miracle, those kind of things. And he was like, and the disciples were saying, is it because of this man's sin that he is blind or sin of lack of faith? But God spoke and said it wasn't that. It was so that he could be used for this moment right now. Raising Lazarus. Lazarus couldn't ask for a miracle. He was dead.
Right. But he was also Jesus's arguably best friend. He was at least a close friend, so he knew that Lazarus had faith.
Okay, there's another story in the Bible then, Andrew, of another little girl that was dead, and the upstairs, and the parents went to get her, and they got back to the house. They were like, "Oh, she's already dead," and Jesus went up there, and they just started telling jokes.
Faith like a child.
Right, but the child didn't have a faith. The child was dead. Nobody had faith. They were like, Jesus, you're late. You missed it.
Yeah.
You're late.
If you're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so there's that instance. So there's times where it's God's sovereign choice to perform a miracle in your life. There's times where it is faith-based healing. And then there's times where this says, like God working through your circumstances, which is maybe like a Forrest Frank thing. Because Forrest Frank, you think about the ministry that he has as he's traveling the country and most likely the world.
Massive. Yeah.
It's massive. It's not cultic yet. It's a massive movement. And, potentially breaking his back
could have stopped the movement.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And so in this, like with Moses parting the Red Sea, that was that kind of thing. Like they're following what God is telling them to do, going all in on what God's telling them to do. They leave Egypt and then they get stuck by the Red Sea.
Right.
And so that's where God's like, no, you're going to keep moving.
Being chased by an army.
Right. And so if we're doing some of those things, like that's why I kind of put Forrest Frank in, is like, I don't think Forrest Frank is this divine, like he had such faith that he just,
right.
It doesn't even sound like he was looking for it. You know what I mean? Like the way that he was surprised when he woke up and didn't even know it. That kind of situation. Right. And it wasn't like he had the faith that it was going to happen, and it wasn't that he wasn't like born that way and had no. It was his choice to ride a skateboard. Like if I was to get on a skateboard, I'm definitely breaking my back.
I thought the exact same thing. I was like, he's going pretty fast. I would have already wiped out by then.
Now you sound like a parent because he at least knew how to skateboard. But I've tried to skateboard. Ricardo, when I used to when I used to own a screen printing place, he'd skateboard around, and we would always joke about making a skateboard ramp in the office. And then he tried to show me how to ollie, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna die. Yes. And I don't have great insurance right now, and all those kind of things. And then there's just kind of like the mystery of God not performing miracles, like Paul talks about his thorn in his flesh, and we don't really know what that is. People like interpret that verse based on whatever they're struggling with, most likely. Yes. God could have taken that away from him, but no, he prayed, and Paul prayed for that to be removed. And God's answer was, my grace is sufficient for you. And then there was another instance where Timothy was sick in 1 Timothy 5:23, and Paul told him to just drink a little wine for his stomach. Basically he said, take some medicine.
Right. Yeah.
Like God doesn't, do the smart things, do the obvious things.
Right.
You got a cold, take some medicine. You got an upset stomach, come on.
Exactly.
Basically just showing that like the miracles, like the sucky part about it is
you don't know if
you can have the best faith possible. But it's faith. Wait, I don't want to.
If it's not in God's plan, He's not going to provide you with a miracle, because God will use you in your circumstance and in your current position, either way. And maybe in Forrest Frank's situation, it was Satan attacking and trying to derail him, and God's like, nope, that's not in my plan, so I'm going to heal him.
Yeah, and just life. We live in a world where we want to know all the answers. And
right. I know. I want the MRI, but
people get mad at us, right, on this podcast because we don't tell people what to believe or what to think. We maybe say our opinion about something or say like, wow, this is to me a goofy thing, but we're not going to like say, so you should stop doing that or whatever, like that's not how we operate either.
Right. Absolutely not.
But people get so frustrated when they don't have the full story. Like people who want to study Revelations, it just drives me crazy. Like they just want to be right about something. Like who cares? Just get yourself right and ready. Come on. Like I don't care if he comes back tomorrow or if he comes back in 100 years and I don't get to see it. Like that's not the point.
We will eventually see it.
Yeah, you'll eventually see it. So just shut up and keep Stop hyper focusing on this just so you can be right. That's to me that's what it is. Like those kind of studies. I know some people they will disagree, but again, I'm not telling you what to believe. That's the hard part with miracles is there's a lot of times we don't know why. We don't know, like with Chance, it could be, he could get healed tomorrow, today. I mean, I guess why not today?
Right.
But he could get healed today. He could get healed in 5 years, 10 years, but there's going to be a moment where potentially that healing is going to become more powerful than the next. Like every day that he doesn't get to walk again, it almost makes that miracle better when it happens.
Yeah. And he may not. Also,
and he may not.
I mean, I believe he went to Nicaragua a couple of years ago, and there was a guy there that he was able to minister to because he was in a wheelchair, and the guy was in a wheelchair.
There was a kid he was able to minister to at Falls Creek that was in a wheelchair that stayed in the back and saw Chance and was like,
"See."
Coming up to him because Chance was getting ready to leave and he's like had to talk how to tell a story, that kind of thing, and just kind of made him feel included because there's a lot of people who don't feel included and don't know what to do and they sit and they sour and they question God why.
So yeah, God has a reason and you don't know what it is. We can't comprehend it, but God has a reason and God will use you in your circumstance.
There's a lot of times we talked about with music how Satan likes to use music, worship songs, and distort, God healed this person in the same situation. Why is he not healing me? And so there might be a lot of people that are questioning like why God is not healing them and heals Forrest Frank. He's playing favorites, blah, 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 blah.
Rich get richer.
Yeah. And
mindset. Dusty, okay, I got to pick on you for real quick. You have two 27-inch screens right there, and you keep pulling your phone out for your research. Why don't you use the big monitors?
I just put the notes on my phone.
You're old. You're straining your eyes. Use the big screens. It's a lot easier.
Okay.
And you see a lot more at once. Instead of you having to scroll and look for what you're looking for.
Well, I just put my bifocals on and I can just see them just fine. I wanted to look towards your direction. I didn't want to look off to the side, whatever.
I know you're jealous of my beard.
So, Andrew, already we're at our 30-minute mark. We haven't taken advice from Forrest Frank on how to be successful, and this podcast should have been 2 minutes long. We should have just said,
listen, you lost
my attention a long time God's got a miracle. God's got a miracle, and so I don't know.
Yep, see, that's why we're not Forrest Frank.
Yep. Maybe sometime.
You couldn't even get out 10 seconds of catchiness.
Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, hate comments. If you give us a hate review, please just give it 5 stars. That'd be great. You can say what you want in the review. Just give it 5 stars.
I mean, and we'll even read it. I love the hate comments.
I had somebody that was like, I can't. It was off of Podbean. It wasn't on like a major one, but they randomly listened to a podcast from 10 years ago, an episode, and it was like, you guys talk about something you know nothing about, blah, 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 blah. You guys are going to go far. And I was like, you listened to a podcast from 10 years ago, right. You dum-dum, obviously.
And if you listen to any of our podcasts, we tell you we know nothing about what we're talking about.
It was when we were going through the book. And so it was like,
yeah.
So like that was that long ago. But like that's how the podcast started.
Listen, even Frankie himself won't comment on that book anymore because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
His response was literally, I have other books since then.
Yeah, so I'm not going to delete those because people like that will find us for the first time. Yeah, whatever. Okay, again, we're out of here, like Forrest Frank style in 3, 2, 1.
Take it easy.